Hi, this is Chris Bailey, and I wanted to go over some common misconceptions about the governor's role in the legislative process. The first misconception is that the governor's line item veto authority applies only to budget bills. Under Article 4, Section 10E of the California Constitution, it says the governor may reduce or eliminate one or more items of appropriation while approving other portions of a bill. The governor shall append to the bill a statement of the items reduced or eliminated with the reasons for the action. The governor shall transmit to the House originating the bill a copy of the statement and reasons. Items reduced or eliminated shall be separately reconsidered and may be passed over the governor's veto in the same manner as bills. So the governor cannot veto budget control language. This line item veto authority is sometimes referred to as the blue pencil authority because years ago, the governor actually used an editor's blue pencil for the task of reducing or eliminating items of appropriation. The second misconception is the governor can pocket veto a bill like the president does. However, in California, there is a pocket signature rule, which is the opposite of this federal rule. In other words, if the governor fails to act on a bill, whether accidentally or intentionally, the bill becomes law without the governor's signature. In other words, the governor must affirmatively veto a bill in order to prevent it from becoming law. And this is set forth in Article 4, Section 10 of the California Constitution. Another misconception is that the governor has 30 days to always act on legislation sent to the governor's desk. However, the general rule actually is that the governor has only 12 days to act on a measure sent to the governor's desk. At the end of each year of the 2-year session, so both in the even and odd numbered years, bills passed after a specified date in receipt of the governor are acted on within 30 days in the first year or odd year of the 2-year session, and no later than September 30th in the second or even numbered year. And this too is provided in Article 4, Section 10 of the California Constitution. So another misconception not far afield from this one is that the governor has to act within either 12 or 30 days after the governor has passed the bill. But there's confusion about when that 12-day or 30-day clock begins running. It begins when the bill has been presented to the governor, not when the legislature passes the bill. Because after passage by the legislature, a bill still has to go through the engrossing and enrolling processes before that bill is sent on to the governor. So once the governor receives the bill, then that 12-day clock begins running. Another misconception is that once the bill has passed both houses, it's automatically transmitted to the governor's desk. As we found out during the 2016 legislative session, when a major bill was delayed for more than a month before it was actually transmitted or delivered to the governor for action, bills can, in fact, be delayed in the engrossing and enrolling process before they're actually placed in enrollment and ultimately presented to the governor. Another misconception is that the governor's signature on the bill is the final hurdle for a bill to be enacted into law. Sure, substantively, that is true. But to be technical, when a bill has been passed by the legislature and the governor has signed the bill, or it became law due to a pocket signature, the Secretary of State actually performs the ministerial role of granting the bill a chapter number. And so that's actually the final procedural hurdle for a bill to become law. Misconception: all resolutions are chaptered by the Secretary of State, so they must be approved by the governor. Although concurrent and joint resolutions, both of which are passed by both houses of the legislature, but not House resolutions, those just passed by the Assembly or the Senate, receive chapter numbers by the Secretary of State. So just concurrent and joint resolutions, 2 of the 3 resolutions acted upon by the California legislature receive chapter numbers. However, the governor's signature is not required on any of the three types of resolutions. Another misconception is that constitutional amendments that are passed by the Senate and Assembly by a 2/3 vote are signed by the governor before they are presented to the voters at the next statewide election. However, constitutional amendments are not presented to the governor, so the governor cannot sign or veto a constitutional amendment. So once a constitutional amendment, either an ACR or an SCR, is passed by both houses of the legislature, then the proposed amendment goes directly to the voters at the next scheduled election, unless a statute is enacted and signed into law that changes the date that that measure will appear on the ballot. And a final misconception is that enrolled bill reports are prepared for all measures. An EBR, or an enrolled bill report, is the analysis prepared on legislative measures to provide the governor's office with information concerning the measure with a recommendation for final action by the governor. These are prepared by the governor's Department of Finance, the relevant agency department, and in most instances, the Office of Legislative Counsel to deal with any technical, like chaptering out issues. And while these bill analyses, the bill analyses themselves by the legislative committees are public information, the EBRs are not. And also, EBRs are not prepared for constitutional amendments or resolutions because, of course, these types of measures are not actually acted upon by the governor in the state of California.